So here it is. You see it? Here it is. You got to think big, really big. Actually, this envelope is pretty cool. It says think big, really big. That's the thing. If you haven't seen this series of sessions for the last few days, you ought to go back and see them because we're talking about some amazing stuff. I'm going to share with you tonight a quick lesson about thinking big, thinking really big, and why you haven't been doing it, why you're stopping yourself short, why you're resisting the change. And as soon as you allow this to work to you and through you, things are going to happen. If we have not met, my name is Kamal. I help engineers, managers, professionals to really break through what I call it 10 times your results in 30 days. I've done it many times for myself and for my clients. And I'm blessed because I learned this art from this man, Bob Proctor, who's now passed away. And I really want to help you. I'm going to give you all the information you need here over the next 30 days, 50 days. I'm going to be here. I'm not going anywhere. So you can have everything you want. See, all the information is already here. And that's why I'm 100% sure that in 30 days, if you stick around, your life will change for the better. And you can probably 10 times your results, maybe even 100 times, maybe even 1,000 times. I've done it with many of my clients. Now, think of it this way: any company, any corporation wants to improve its results by 1%, 2%, 3%, maybe 5% a year, maybe 5% every 2, 3 years, and they don't even do it. And that's the difference. You yourself, you can improve by humongous. You can multiply your effectiveness by a whole lot more, by 50%, 100%. Now you can do it. And that's what makes it different. A company cannot move as fast because there's so much to it. There's so much complexity. There's too many connection points. But you yourself, YOU Corporation, you can do that. I'm going to share with you briefly what I learned from Bob when he mentored me this. And this is one of in the first lesson that we talk about as to how this happened, how this process can really work for you very quickly. So pay attention, pay very close attention, get one of these books, get one of these magical pens that is yours. Find a nice pen that you really want to write in. I learned that the hard way, actually. Once he goes, "Do you have a good pen, Kamal?" I'm like, "I have a pen." He goes, "No, no, it has to be a pen that means something for you, right? And get one of these notebooks where you can put some of the material that you're learning that you want to actually do on paper. All right, so get a pen, get a piece of paper, and write it down. Let me attempt to share the screen here so that you see this. And no worries if you don't see the screen very well, if it's kind of blurry, ask for it, and I'll be kind enough to send you a of sort, right? Of course, whoever comes in and want to learn all this, the material, but yourself, if you're just out there, reach out, just reach out and we can you have it. All right, so let's look at this. What is this picture? I want you to think really, really big, and there's two questions you got to ask yourself. All right, we're talking about something that you've never done before. We're talking about something that is scary or is exciting. We're talking about something that you've never done before, and that's the key characteristics of a goal. He actually ingrained it on us so many times, and he called it ABC type of goals, and C type of goal meaning big type of goal, like 10 times your income, 5 times your investments. That's the kind of stuff. I didn't believe it at first. It's kind of crazy, but I didn't believe it, right? But I just went along with him. I followed what he said, and I just kept doing it until I got it. And 7.5 months into this learning, boom, 50% of my income went up. 2 years later, 3 times my investments. Amazing. And that's the thing. You just have to change how you're thinking. You got to move bigger, much, much bigger. Yesterday, I talked about belief. And if you haven't seen that video, you ought to go back in this sequence on YouTube or LinkedIn or Facebook, wherever this is going. I think it's going to LinkedIn and YouTube tonight. Make sure you watch the series on belief, because your belief creates the fact. All right. So that's what we're talking about. So let's look at this. So you're thinking of something, and it's like a fantasy. It's like you've never done before. And these two questions. So get that book, get that piece of paper, and write these two questions down. They're very important. If you don't write them down, you're not serious and you're just interested. And you know what? 95% of you are interested, maybe even more. There's only 1 or 2 or 3% are really committed to achieve their goals. And that's what makes the difference. See, I learned something the hard way. 65% of retirees are broke and don't have any money. Why? because so many of you are so young and still available to work and do good things, then you have nothing to do with money. You have no idea other than putting time for money. And you need to learn how to earn money while you sleep. All right. So pay attention. Now, are you able? That's the question. Like when we're thinking of this fantasy, like a 10 time your investment, 10 apartment units, 10-acre land instead of 1 acre, whatever is this big thing that you want, the car, right? And the thing that you really, really want, right? Are you able to do it? Now, most people would say, no, I don't think I am. The hard way about that. I come from Lebanon, a very rough place. It was a war-torn country for years. I escaped many, many bad nights. I'm surprised I'm alive. Okay, I actually jumped on a boat with a backpack and I left to join a war. So I know what I'm talking about. And I started thinking bigger because there was something better for me. So, am I able? Absolutely, am I able? So, I want you to accept that idea. If you're finding yourself challenged with that you're not able, that's your old programming. That's what your parents put into you when you were a kid. Now, they didn't do it because they don't love you. Of course, they do. They just don't know any better. And their parents did the same to them. So, they're doing the same to you. How many times have you had a situation where you've told your parents you want to be a pilot, you want to travel the world, you want to earn $1 million? They're like, "Are you crazy? Are you stupid? Are you dumb?" And they dumb you out. And that changes your thinking to slow you down and to make you small. But in reality, there's somebody out there just like you, just like me, just like some of these clients that study this material and made so much. We're the same. We're just different. We might have more hair, less hair, male, female. Who cares? We're all about the same. We're a child of God. Is what I call myself. We're a child. There's a spirit, and we are a child. We're an offspring of the spirit that's available, that has this infinite intelligence, infinite abundance that's available. So we are able. And you have to answer yes to that question, because if you don't answer yes to that question, you're never going to get what you want, and you're never going to advance, and you're going to get. So you got to answer yes. And if you're challenged with it, all I ask you is that get on a call and I'll dig deeper with you, or make you understand and help you why you are able. Now, here's the second thing. What I learned the hard way is that so many of us are not willing. And that is exactly what the second question is. Am I willing? Am I willing? And I'm going to tell you a quick story. January came about and I wanted to improve my fitness. I wanted to get better. And I couldn't. I could go to the gym and stop, started the membership, stop. I couldn't do it. But am I willing? So I went back to this lesson, to this lesson, chapter 1, right? We're talking about lesson 1. So you're here at the beginning. I said, am I willing to put the time? Am I willing to sacrifice whatever it takes to get fit? And the answer was yes. Of course. It has to be yes. If it's a no, that big goal, that fantasy, which is, has to be part of that creative process, is not going to work. So I looked around, figured out which gym I want to join. I went to first gym, second gym, third gym. Literally, I went like different gyms because I'm picky where I go. I mean, I need certain things. It's got to have certain facilities. Otherwise, I'm not going to go. And I finally found somebody, and then finally found a trainer. And then in February, I said, okay, I'm willing to put the time. I'm willing to change my habits to start working out. And there's a video here about habits because it needs to happen naturally. So I was willing to put the time. I was willing to wake up 1 hour early. I was willing to do a little bit extra. And that's another story as well. If you're not willing to do more, you're not going to get paid more. See, most people are sitting idle. They stand in front of the fireplace waiting for the fire to come out. I did that for years. And I'm not going to do that anymore. And I don't want you to do it. And that's why I'm sharing this video with you, because you are going to have to listen up and smarten up. It's not going to get easier for you. Goofing around, dabbling around is not going to work. Wishing and hoping is not going to work. Just praying and manifesting, and it's not going to work. You're going to have to do the work. You got to be willing to do the work. Most people want to get paid more than what they're worth before they do more. And it doesn't work that way. We are living in an order of a universe that you get what you deserve. You earn what you deserve. So you're going to have to start doing more before you get paid more. Your value has to rise. So you have to be willing to put the time. You have to be willing to do the work. You have to be willing to do the little extra. So, and that's what I did. And on the first 18 days of February, I was just struggling to get to the gym. I was struggling, but I still put the time, still put the time. And there was the 10th day, 12th day, 13th day. And then finally, by the 18th day, I started to be like, oh, by the 19th day, I actually had my first enjoyable workout in February. And I promised myself that I'll work every day. Actually, at the beginning of the month, this is kind of funny. February, I said, I'm going to work out 30 times this month, thinking it was a 30-day month. February was 28 days. So, anyways, between skiing and committing and getting through the 19th day where I felt good after being on the treadmill, because I was really willing to do the work. It actually felt good. For last month, I did 31 workouts in 28 days. I was willing to do the work. Was I able? Of course I was able, but at the beginning of the month, I didn't think I was. But I got a coach, I got a mentor, I got a trainer. I found the facility that I wanted. I was willing to put the time. I was willing to pay the money. I was willing to do the work. Why? Because I have a goal of what kind of fitness I want to be in, right? Health is wealth. So, and that's part of the creative process. So if you don't build a habit, if you don't have the belief, if you don't answer yes to these two questions, you're snowing yourself, as they say. You're not gonna make it. And I want you to make it really, really bad, right? You've got to build this fantasy. You got to build this dream, and it's gonna become so exciting for you. You're gonna have to see yourself uh, winning. You're gonna have to see yourself that income, working in that job. That has to become in your mind all the time. So we'll have this fantasy of the goal. I'm giving you an example about my fitness, but it could be anything for you. It could be a job, it could be this and that. And then you answer yes to those two questions, and you're going to start dreaming about it, imagining about it, doing something about it. Thoughts, feelings, and action. Thoughts, feelings, and action. Without action, you're snowing yourself. And most of you are not willing to take any action. Most of you are scared, no confidence, low belief in yourself. You ain't going to make it. Sorry, you're just not going to make it. So we have this goal. We say yes. We make it a theory. Becomes a goal, become a fact. Desires must become real. All prayers are answered at the right time. This is not, I'm Christian for a long time, but I learned something about prayer. Answered. Prayer is the movement between the physical and spirit. Prayer is the movement between physical and spirit. So if you want this creative process to work for you, if you've been struggling, imagining things and it's not happening, it's because you creative process. It's not by hard work. In the famous book Think and Grow Rich, which is the second most famous book in the world on business, Napoleon Hill said, if you think you're going to get rich by working hard, perish the idea. Now he had interviewed 25,000 men and women. 25,000. This is, we're talking the Carnegies, the Edison families, the Ford families, everybody that's actually somebody. These are people like multimillionaires of the time. So it's a science. This is real. This is law. It works, and it works like science. And it's up to you to make it work for you. It's really up to you. And then it becomes a fact. It has to happen if you do the work. So here's the thing: take a snapshot of this thing and save it. I mean, put it on your notebook. Do something about it. I'm giving you didn't have for a long time, and then I got it. And then so it's really up to you to effort. So you can build this fantasy. So you can move it from fantasy to theory. So you can move it from theory to a fact. What's required in order for you to is to change your thinking. See, most people want to change, but they don't think they can. You see, that's the beautiful thing about life. The beautiful thing about life is that you can change. The sad thing about it is that you think you can't. And you have to just do it. You have to refuse to let anything get in your way. You have to get rid of a lot of stuff. You got to get emotionally involved in this idea. You got to involve your emotions. Remember, thoughts, feelings, and action. See, if you don't have a goal, you're lost. You have no compass. You're not going to get anywhere. Nowhere. You are lost if you don't have a goal. And I want you to have a goal. I want you to stop resisting your growth. I want you to stop resisting your change. You're doing it, but you don't even know it. You got to wake up thinking, I'm working on my goal. I want this thing. You're going to have to want it so bad. That's what I'm talking about. And if you don't want it, that's fine. It's your call. So hopefully that helped you. hopefully that excited you about changing how you think and understanding this creative process. People pay thousands of dollars to get this lesson. You're getting it for free right here. But if you don't do anything about it, if you don't start thinking big, if you don't write some notes down and start actually acting on them, you're snowing yourself and you're not going to get anywhere. And I'm urging you that if you want to get better, it's time for you to start. And you can start tomorrow. You're going to start tonight. So hopefully this served you. Hopefully this excited you. And I mean, I'm not gonna baby you, right? This is real. This is like where it separates the men and the women. This is for those who want to become somebody, because you are somebody, but you just don't have that. All of us need this. I'm gonna stop screen share. I'm gonna if you enjoyed this, go back. There's 3 other lessons for the last 3-4 days. Enjoy them, reach out, connect, and listen. This might not be for you, but is for somebody. So somebody that can benefit from it, share it with them, put it on your feed, and I really hope we meet someday. I like you a lot, and I can't wait to meet you. Thank you. Have a good night and have an amazing weekend. Cheers. And thanks for those who are listening live. I can't tell who it is, but I really appreciate you. Thank you for the comment. Thank you for your kindness. Love you, and have a good night. Much love. And click that link. Click that link and go see the whole